Hi and welcome. So today I want to talk about why diets keep you stuck in your emotional eating. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist and emotional eating expert. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about the diet mentality and how it really keeps you stuck in your emotional eating. So a lot of the times clients that come to me or women that are in my world, they have been sold that if they can just find the right diet, then they're going to move past their emotional eating. So they try all the diets, they try to overexercise, they try sometimes pills and surgeries in an effort to move past their emotional eating, thinking that they need to control their hunger because they have this out of control hunger. They need to control their body. They need to just control that something is innately wrong with their body. And I totally get it because I was there too. When I was on my emotional eating journey, on the surface, that's what we're sold, that I need to do the right diet. There's something wrong with my body, my hunger, how I am. And so I tried every diet in an effort to really control my body and control my hunger because I didn't know what was really going on. And diets keep us in this emotional eating loop because, first of all, they're not getting to the root of our emotional eating, but they help create more issues for us as well. So when we're on a diet, in general, there are so many diets and fad diets, and they recycle diets. Diets really play into our insecurities around our body. They make us really feel something's wrong with us. And so we think that if we could just fix our body, everything would be okay. We'd be okay. And so diets teach us that we need to control our body. And so how we control our body is through restriction. So we restrict the types of foods we might be eating, the amount of foods, the calories in our foods, when we're eating, how much we can eat. So it's really external. Diets give us these guidelines that we need to follow. We don't check in with our body necessarily. We're always checking in with the diet and following it. And the reason I say that is that even people who have not been on diet still have this rigid mentality of, I ate too much, or I did this wrong thing. They don't know how to relax around food. And it's because we see this sort of diet culture all around us. The thing that diets do is that they tell us usually when to eat, how much to eat. So they're trying to control our hunger. But every body has a unique hunger. We all have different levels of hunger. Some of us might need to eat more often, some of us not as much. We have different body types and we have different energy levels. We do different things in a day. If we have more activity, we might need more food. So being really rigid and restrictive about how much we're eating doesn't help us navigate life. Everything is sort of flowing. And so these diets also don't focus on nourishing the body. It's really about controlling our body size and shape. It's not about nourishing our body so that we are healthy and that we feel vibrant and that we have energy and that we feel good in our bodies. It's really about, making sure we look a certain way. And so we can look, that way on the outside. And when I did my diets, I got to that point, but you don't feel it on the inside. It doesn't take away that pain that you're trying to cover up, all of those emotions that are under your emotional eating. And, it's really hard to maintain diets. You only have so much willpower. And diets really perpetuate this controlling, rigid mentality around our bodies. It's not a kind way to be to ourselves. We are not compassionate. We're not understanding. And this is because we don't understand what's really going on under the surface with emotional eating. And so, we try to control our hunger. We run away from it. We're on the search for the next diet. And there are so many women, it's hard to break out of this diet mentality because even for me, when I did diet after diet and I was failing and things that worked for a year, they started not working. I was still, I would gain weight and my body would change. And I was like, I'm doing everything and nothing's working. And I reached this breaking point where all I wanted to do was to nourish my body. I didn't even have those words. I just wanted to feel good in my body. I I was at such a point that even when I restricted, I felt horrible, or I got to the weight, I felt horrible. And now things weren't working, I felt horrible, that I just wanted to feel good. And so I decided in this really, come to Jesus moment that I just was going to take the steps. I didn't know what they were to move forward, just to feel good. I was just running on faith that something was going to land for me. I was going to start really slow and just do things that felt good. And so from this place, I had to, it was really scary because I had to say to myself, if I follow this path and I gain weight, because I'm going to be eating and feeling satisfied, then I gain weight. If I lose weight, I lose weight. If I stay the same, I stay the same. And there was this real fear of my body changing because that's what would give me that validation, or what I thought would make me feel good. And so I took those steps. And the funny thing is that my body, it didn't happen overnight. It took many years, because after abusing your body with diets and over exercising and stressing it out, it needs to rebalance. So it took me a couple of years to rebalance, and then my body just naturally released the weight when it had felt it was nourished enough and it was at this stable place. And it was through these step-by-step things that I was learning and nourishing my body and accepting my body and looking at my emotions that got me to that place. And so that's really what I want to talk about now. Diets keep you stuck. What do we need to move past our emotional eating? Well, we need to really unlearn a lot of those rules and come back to our body. That sounds really great. It's a step-by-step process, because if you've been in this diet mentality for a really long time, it's really scary to let go of what's comfortable or what you've known for so long. So changing one thing at a time and understanding why you're changing one thing at a time is really important to coming back to your body. So this means that you start tuning into your true hunger versus emotional hunger. You're not just trying to white knuckle it through when you're hungry, and you can tell when you're emotionally hungry and going towards food. You're learning how to truly nourish your body so that you are absorbing all those foods, that you are digesting well, that you are feeling energetic and vibrant and loving the foods that you're eating, and knowing that you're taking great care of yourself and nourishing yourself. This means that you start accepting your body where it's at right now. It's not about, oh, I accept my body, this is where I'll be forever. Especially if you've gained a lot of weight through your emotional eating cycles and binge cycles, your body is not meant to necessarily be at that space. But we need to start with acceptance, where we're not punishing ourselves. We're understanding our journey. We're understanding we're here for a reason. And we start taking the steps to just being really neutral and not saying those negative critical things about ourselves. We start looking at what our body needs, what rhythms, what rituals, how much sleep, what we need to say to our body, so that we start having that acceptance. So it's no longer the stressor creating more emotional eating. And so when we're able to do that, our body starts, relaxing and starts releasing weight. It can start getting healthier. These are important things, because that punishing kind of negative critical space creates a lot of stress in the body, and we're no longer in a space of being really compassionate and open with our bodies. We're really punishing and critical and lacking and stressing out. And so the next thing that we really need to move past our emotional eating is to look at the emotions under the emotional eating. So these are the emotions running the show, running the emotional eating cycle, making you go towards those foods. And so you need to really get into those emotions, those experiences, and we need to, resolve them. We need to get to the root of them, process through them, feel through them, let them go, and rewrite a new way of being in our life that's actually going to meet the needs we have. Learn a new way to be with our emotions, learn a new way to listen to ourselves when we need to make changes. So that's really going to be inside of you, what needs you have. and how to care for yourself. You know, the biggest part of this is allowing yourself to feel your emotions so that you're not holding them in your body, because when we don't feel our emotions, we hold them in our body. And that can look like pain and weight gain and issues in our body. Those emotions turn toxic in our body. And so these are the steps that are needed to really move past emotional eating, because when we're in a diet and we are punishing our bodies, we're creating a lot of stress, we're creating a lot of criticism. And when we're in this stressful state, we turn towards food to cope, because whenever we're stressed, that's our coping mechanism, going towards food to soothe ourselves. But that's not working anymore. And that's why you're here watching this, because if that were working, you would just continue on with it. But now you're seeing, you feel out of control around food. You don't feel good in your body. You notice how foods, when you binge, it doesn't sit well in your body. You feel that shame and guilt. Like, what's going on? Why can't I control this? Why can't I get a handle on this? And maybe it start in, impacting your relationships to your partner, or how you're showing up for your kids, or even in your work. This starts spilling over in your life. And so going towards a diet is not the solution. It's what we've gone to before, but we need a new way. And so hopefully the steps I've shared with you above have given you some more insight that we really need to go deeper into resolving this, not just a diet that's actually pushing you further away and creating more stress in your system, so that you will sort of cycle in and out of diets. And over time, that abuse on your body, it takes a toll, and it takes longer and longer to kind of rebuild that health. So if this makes sense to you, let me know in the comments below. And if you have any questions, and if what I'm saying here resonates with you, my program, the Emotional Eating Evolution Program, covers all of the ways that you need in order to move past your emotional eating, from the true nourishment to body acceptance to the emotional wellness piece. These are the key ingredients needed to move past emotional eating, not a restrictive diet. And so if you're interested in learning more about the program, I will leave a link below. And so you can find out more details about it. And if you feel like it's a fit, there'll be more information on how you can book in an emotional eating assessment call, where we chat about where you're at and where you'd like to go, and if we can fill the gap with the program. So if that resonates with you, the link will be below. And so I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to sharing more with you, and I hope you have a great day.